What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Midnight Manor at Fantastic Fest 2025. We are talking Deathgasm 2. Finally. I'm so happy the time has finally come to talk about a sequel to Deathgasm. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's sort of quite mind-blowing, like being here. I mean, today is going to be really weird, like, you know, being up in front of an audience and saying, hey, we did it. Like, I said to Andrew, like, when I got off the plane, like, whoa, this is actually happening. It's, for the longest time, it's been, you know, because I wrote it like 10 years ago, which I'm not meant to tell people, but, you know, it was written like shortly after the first one. So, you know, it's been quite a journey.
Just to get people up to speed, just in case this is their first introduction to Deathgasm, can you maybe give us like a little bit of a synopsis of what the situation is and specifically what is happening in Deathgasm 2, Goremageddon, I should say?
Okay, right. So yeah, like the main character, when we left the characters, like Zach was possessed and Brody had to like kill his best friend. He got the girl, and everything was hunky-dory. And that's then, you know, some stuff happens in between where when we find Brody again, he's unemployed, he's old, he's drinking, you know, lost Medina, and, you know, he wants to, you know, get the band back together. He sees that there's this like metal quest, like competition, and he's like, right, I can solve all my problems. I can like prove to Medina I'm awesome. I can, you know, pay the rent. I can be awesome again. You know, it's that thing where like, you know, you get like, I was in a band when I was a kid. I still want to be in a band. I'd love to, you know, I still want to be a rock star.
We can make that happen.
I know, but it's yeah. So it's, and he misguidedly decides to use these magic pages to bring his friends back to life because that's the only way to form a band in his mind.
So you said you had hopes and you started working on the script for a sequel like right out the gate when you finished the first film, and it makes me curious, what's the biggest difference between draft one that you first wrote back then and the finished film that everyone's going to see at Fantastic Fest now?
I think it's pretty much there. Like it changed due to like sort of we had to pare down stuff for budget. Like it was big, like there was a lot of like really big scenes and we had to adjust it for the budget that we had, which we did with the first one as well. I think like mostly it's sort of the same. There was a few things that got cut that like sort of would have maybe would have been okay like 10 years ago that wouldn't be okay now. Like nothing major though, but just like we just had to yeah. I mean, I'm a totally different person now, you know, than when I wrote it. But I think it's still in the same. Yeah.
I think one of the things that one of the things I love about Jason as a director is that when he pares things down, he still manages to make it funny and interesting. Like he doesn't lose the scene; he just changes the scene for the budget.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like there's a scene where there's supposed to be a bunch of zombies coming at the characters, but we can't afford a bunch of zombies, so there's 4 zombies, and oh, they're kind of scary, and oh, geez, they're sort of surrounding us, you know. So he makes the weakness a strength, you know.
I think I know exactly what scene you're talking about. I have so many follow-up questions, but I kind of want to back up a little bit first and talk about getting the go-ahead to actually make the sequel. I'd love for both of your takes on this. I'll turn this into a big, complicated 2-part question. Can you each recall the moment when, I don't know, you encountered a bump in the road, a challenge, and it made you stop and go like, my God, we're never going to make a Deathgasm sequel, but then I also want the opposite, the thing that you acquired or the thing that happened that made you know, like, this is the time we're actually going to do it now.
Well, I think for me it was getting Andrew on board was the moment that it's like, yeah, that made it happen. But so this is like the 3rd attempt. We tried once for the New Zealand Film Commission, and then we tried it again. We were working with like a British company, and that didn't work out. And yeah, and you know, Andrew came on board. Like I think you contacted me and asked me if I had any projects going.
Yeah, so I'm a partner at a company in Toronto called Raven Banner, and we've been involved in lots of films like Psycho Gorman and Deathstalker, and so we were the Canadian distributor of Deathgasm, and so we met Jason like 10 years ago when he came into the city, and I've been a fan of his. And so we've always kind of stayed in touch. And as we started getting back into production, I reached out to him and said, hey, what are you doing? And I always asked him, what's happening with the Deathgasm sequel? So when I saw him kind of have these bumps in the road, I thought, like, man, there's something that we can do. And, you know, we've had some success doing pre-sales with films, but I thought the thing with Deathgasm is it has a built-in IP. And so let's go take it out to the fans. Let's do crowdfunding. And so we did a Kickstarter campaign, and we managed to raise $300,000 US in that Kickstarter campaign. And once we did that, I knew that's it. We're off to the races.
Half a million New Zealand.
Like I
say half a
know
million.
that you want you know, the financing to come easy, to get all the money in the world. It's got to be the most motivating thing to go into making a movie, knowing all those people believed in what you want to create.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like splatter horror is you know, it's got its audience, but it's never going to be like the most popular genre. Like some people can laugh at this stuff, some people are just never going to get it. So it's like, you know, and you know, we really engage with those fans. And yeah, I've met a few I've met a few like Kickstarter backers, and I'm like, I always like, yeah, you're my boss. Like, you know, you guys made it happen. Like, and it's yeah, really humbling.
What has all of this been like from your perspective? Are you just basically like sitting and waiting and maybe hitting that point where you're thinking, I'm never going to return to this character? And then what was it like getting the call?
Oh, no, I always thought it would happen. So
I like that face.
I just didn't know. I'm probably delusionally optimistic that I'm like, everything will always be fine. Yeah.
It's a good quality to have.
And I didn't get a call. I saw it on Deadline. And so I was like, is this real?
Oh, really? I'm sure we contacted you.
There's lines of it. But more, I think I checked out. I was like, is this real? And you were like, yeah, if we can raise the money. And so I had messaged Milo immediately. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because we just had the best time. This was my first film. I've always traditionally done TV. And I had the best time on the original. Also, it was outside of the genre which I normally play, which is like vacant or psychotic. So it's like kind of nice to be bad at. You know, I had always had high hopes of being like the Lara Croft, but that just isn't in my how I get normally cast. So like to have this like axe wielding scenes and to be able to step into that and do some stunts. But I would like to caveat that the fact of doing the second film and it being crowdfunded and having so many of those backers on set made for such a wildly different filming experience because everyone's jazzed to be there. And I think, you know, I'm 17 years into my career now, and I think it's something we spoke about on set too, like the energy, the discussions that the crew were having as sidebars, well, they're all cinephiles. They were all like talking about movies they're jazzed about. So it was pretty magical. Like that's a pretty cool environment to walk into and everyone's quite happy to be there given the long hours, given the time and prosthetics. Like for me, that was like, yeah, and credit to these guys for making it happen. But everyone was like, just like, cool.
Oh, there's nothing better
yourself
than
included.
that.
Everyone was like, this is awesome.
How did you get involved in all this? Were you a Deathgasm fan right out the gate?
So yeah, I'd seen it. It came up a passing one time. I've always been into the over-the-top, hokey, gory, splattered horror movie stuff like that. The more blood, the better, and things like that. And I'd seen it, and it just happened to fall into my lap. And I heard the opportunity, and it's also where I'm wanting to go with my career. So like my backstory, I wrestled for WWE for the last 12 years. So talk about the same thing about being on set and a completely different change of realm of what it is for a television product. Like with what we do at WWE, it's a live television 3-hour program every week, and it's a rat race of holy shit chaos, pardon my French, to being able to come in and sit down and see the vision that the directors, producers have, speak with them, and them allowing me to put my ideas on it as well, because that's something that's big for me as well. Like I can take direction and then like, this is the character you want me to play. All right, I know my character. So I was basically playing my wrestling character. So, all right, how your vision, how can I take your vision, my vision, we make the best out of it. And I think it's really, and I haven't even seen the scene. I've purposely not wanted to see it, waiting for the premiere of it tonight just to see it all. And it was just so much fun being on set because it's just such a different experience. Like anytime I get to be in front of the camera, it's special. Because like I said, what we get to do as actors, actresses, and then getting it out to the fans is always fun. And it's just a different opportunity and a different walk of life for me to show what other talents that I have to bring to the table as well.
So you want to act more?
Yes.
I'm gonna pose this question to both of you. It's come up quite a few times during my time at Fantastic Fest this year. Actually, I'm gonna spin it for you. If you could join the horror film franchise of your choice, what franchise would you pick and who might you play in it?
Oh, Friday the 13th, Jason.
Dude, so good. You would be the best.
That
And
seems
there
like-
may
that
be
seems
some
like a-
talks about it
Whoa.
with people that I know in my agency. And if we could ever get everybody to get back on the same page and allow the licensings to work, I might be the next Voorhees.
But would you have to lose that beard? What would you?
I would gladly shave this beard off to play that character.
Oh, that's the
I got goosey too. We're goosing.
Dude.
Tom's goosing.
Is Jason your number one slasher of all the OGs?
Number one slasher, and I wear my number one superhero with me everywhere I go.
Wait, who?
The Incredible Hulk. I like to imagine
That's a beautiful
That's
piece.
me in real
Wow.
life. I mean well, but you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
That's
I'm stunned. I'm
It's a pretty cool
stunned
combo
right now.
there.
So, it's amazing.
So I'm going to give you the other version of the question that has come up a couple of times. I've been asking a lot of people, what is the first horror movie you saw that made you say to yourself, like, I have to do that. I have to be a part of that genre one day?
That's a great question. It's not a horror film, but my dad, who wasn't present a lot during my childhood, let me watch Jaws when I was really young, which
That is a horror. It's a monster movie. That's a horror movie.
so that terrified me that I pivoted the opposite way. But for me, it was always Buffy. I was a huge Sarah Michelle Gellar fan. It was kind of the first time I'd seen like a girly girl in that role who then like became badass. So, yeah, and then that was kind of my trajectory into it, which again is more TV than film. But also, I loved all the Scream movies, and weirdly enough, all the scary. The franchise I really want to be part of is actually Scary Movie. Do you know? And it's so I have tried that doing another one. I'm
they're
like,
coming
I'll
back.
like frame. Like I just want to be there.
I rewatched the first one like last year. It's so problematic now.
I know.
But it sort of makes it funnier.
Yes.
Like it's like what? It's
Yeah.
Both
So-
that franchise and Scream, they're just continuing on and on
Which
and on.
I'm like, come on, there's got to be a time.
just because
So-
Scream is one of my favorite franchises of
Yeah,
all
of
time. Do you have a
course.
single favorite Scream character?
Weirdly enough, I just loved that the Carmen Electra scene at the beginning. I feel like because they repeat it so many times that I feel like I've done that scene in acting class. I'm like, yeah, the call's coming from inside the room, inside the house.
I'll
So-
take that. Veering back to your character here, I'll give you a big, complicated two-part question
Sure.
about jumping back into the role. When you found out you were going to get to return to her, what single thing about her were you most eager to do? Like a part of the character that you wanted to explore that you didn't get to the first time around. But then can you also tell me something about Jason's script that made you go like, I never realized I'd be able to do that with her one day?
Yeah. So at the very end of the first film, she's kind of like, she's transitioned into, talking about mic cupping, and she's smoking menthol cigarettes, which was the first time I'd ever smoked fake or normal. And it's only for this like little tag at the end of the film. So to know that I was picking up from there was just exciting for me, like I always get dressed usually as like a pretty Barbie doll when I act. So to be able to really put on a different character, I think visually that was one of the most exciting things. Like if I'm starting from there, what does that look like?
Well, I remember when we got the fake tattoos, and you just got so excited looking at like all the I want that one. No, I want that one, and you're just
Totally.
like,
So, like it's fun for I love what I do. I love acting so much. It really is my drug of choice. So like I didn't even need to read the script really to be on board. I know I'm in safe hands with Jason. I know that he's one of my favorite directors to work with. He's so collaborative, and whatever I bring to the table, he'll just yes and me. He never says no, so
Good vibes to have.
Yeah, it's like there's no roadblocks in that way.
Because tattoos were just brought up. Who's getting a Fantastic Fest tattoo this
My
year?
husband got one already yesterday.
What did you get?
Oh, I just got a little smiley face.
Yeah.
You're giving me a sneak peek.
Yeah.
Now I know one that's on the sheet.
There you go.
That's awesome.
I would, but I'm pregnant. I don't know if that would be
I
quite
feel like
right.
I don't think you're allowed when
think you're
that
allowed.
happens. So
Sushi and tattoo.
Yeah.
what a
Two of my
pairing.
favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I do want to highlight a couple of scenes and set pieces in the movie. So to do that, I'll give you yet another complicated two-part question. Going into the filming of this movie, which single scene did you think was going to be the toughest to pull off? And ultimately, was it, or did a different one catch you by surprise?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. For Guns Akimbo, I'd had like a really fast answer to that, but like it's. Yeah, it was all just pretty tough. I think maybe like the graveyard cemetery scene, just because like I'm a sucker for like graveyards and fog and full moons and zombies, like and the fact that we got to do that in a real graveyard was amazing. But I thought that was going to be a lot harder, but the day actually went really well. You did second unit that day, I think.
I was doing the second unit that day. Yeah,
So
I was shooting the fake graveyard that day.
Yeah, you're doing the fake graveyard.
Yeah.
Producer that also does the second unit.
Well, again, low budget filmmaking. You
Yeah.
have to step in where you can. So like I'm doing second unit, but
And
some
he's a
days,
director as well.
yeah, but you know, like I've been on sets where I'll do catering and I'll do locations. I'll pick up sandbags. Like you do what you gotta fucking
It's
do.
important.
He would like stay at late after the shoot, and he was helping like the guys take the makeup of the zombies. It's like, what are you doing? Do you know anything about? No, he just does it. It's like
I'll second that. I actually put him in my phone as Andrew Runner because he picked me up from the airport. I didn't know that it was Andrew the EP who collected me. And he's like, text me when you need picking up. I was like,
Truly,
oh my God,
like,
so nice.
one of the highest honors.
It was like, I mean that as credit to you of like,
Yeah.
that's one of our favorite things is as Kiwis coming into this business, we don't have hierarchy, and it's
No.
really strange for us coming into American productions, granted Canadian, but where there's so much rules and regulation around hierarchy. So I think that is what made this project special and still hold on to its Kiwiness. I don't know if you agree.
Totally.
Andrew and like his lack of ego and what makes him such a great producer, director, and all of that, because it doesn't feel like there's a barrier there.
I love that. I'm always
Yeah.
here to make people give each other flowers. That was wonderful. I'll do that a little more, and I'll preface this question by saying it is a little unfair, but I also love emphasizing it because we're lucky enough to get to see and talk to all of you today. But I'm sure there's many, many other people who worked on this movie that deserve a whole lot of credit. So can each of you take a moment to name a Deathgasm 2 unsung hero, someone we don't get to see in front of the camera as often, but we should know their name and what they contributed to the film?
I'm going to go with Jeremy Radcliffe, the DOP, like fantastic DOP, just like so friendly, so kind. Like I've worked with some DOPs that they're really screamy towards their own crew, and it's like just really awkward. Like just the nicest guy on set. Also, like he very very Christian. Loved everything we did. Like gore. Like we did like some crazy stuff, and he and like me and Andrew were like, should we tone it down? Like we were in a church, and it's like we're gonna murder scene in a church.
We're shooting in a real church.
And me and Andrew are like,
real church.
Hey, let's just like do it. And he's like, no, blood here and like spray. You're the like Christian, like why? Are you? And
He's like, it's okay.
And he did it all with a smile on his face,
Yeah.
which is like, yeah.
But he's just one of those guys that he's just was so passionate about the film, so supportive, still is really passionate about it, and yeah, so yeah.
Great example.
I would say Austin Roberts, our AD. He was just a guy who, again, like we had a lot going on. We were a low budget production and spinning a lot of plates, and he just managed to kind of keep everything on time and on schedule, and without ever losing his cool. Like he was, for me, I would work with him again in a heartbeat.
I am in awe of all ADs for that reason. The idea of someone
hottest
being able to like
The
keep
fun
things on
police,
schedule
but-
while
And again,
keeping your cool.
Not yelling, not screaming, not
Yep.
not being a prick. Yeah, awesome dude.
Oh, I gotta give it to the extras, the ones that gave their bodies up for me, because like my scene, like I'm rough with these guys, and they're all pro wrestlers and stuff on their side jobs and stuff, so they were all unbelievably willing to give their bodies up to me for this film, and we did a lot of takes with a couple of them, and it was very physical.
You clotheslined one dude, and I thought, how the fuck did he live?
He was a big guy, but like it looks so good in shot.
They loved it.
It's
They were like,
his head snaps back.
They were like, I was even, and they were like laying in harder. I was like, no, this is enough. But they, like I said, I had those are, and it's even like in our business too, like in the wrestling business side of things. I say our business. I'm semi-retired from wrestling now too, because I want to be an actor. But all that, I always have so much admiration for these young and up-and-coming talents that are looking for a shoe and a place to get in by putting their bodies, going the extra line, being the first one to raise their hand, not even knowing what I'm going to do to their poor soul, and just going, I'll volunteer for it. So like because I was that kid at one point. Like I said, I was doing that. I was the one going, I'll do it. I'll eat that. I'll go here. I'll do that. And that's what gave me the opportunities to get to where I am in life. So those are a lot of the unsung heroes too that are behind the scenes that people that no one ever knows about and they never get credit for. So that's big for me.
Very well put. You want to give us one more?
Yeah, I think mine, and probably like we can all attest to this, is like the friends and family and support, because we were all in Regina doing weird hours, and I know you have a family at home, like your wife, my husband, my family, like I know Milo as well, and like from a cast perspective, like, so yeah, just I guess, and I'm sure your family as well, like just that support was really cool to like be gone but know that you had that kind of support behind you, because it's kind of weird, right? Like I'm going to do a movie called Deathgasm 2, which was really funny when you said that.
Did your family bring you out? They must bring you out.
It's not my mom's favorite thing that I say that I'm part of,
Well, I
but
said,
nothing
my
to do
mom
with
too.
the
She said,
film.
it's called what?
I know.
It's okay, Mom.
Totally.
It's not a porno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even when I got my visa, when I landed in Vancouver, they're like, I'm sorry, what was the movie called? I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of
Spelled right there. It's spelled right there.
I mean this sincerely, though. The Deathgasm movies are like, yes, shockingly extreme, but also like oddly wholesome, I guess. At the same
it's
time.
just the name. I think people think that what is this?
Well, there was actually a porno beat us to the punch, because there's a porno called Deathgasm 2. And
How do you know this?
I was on Twitter googling. I was hashtagging Deathgasm. I've really got to come up with an excuse for this. I was hashtagging Deathgasm on Twitter, and it came up. I was like, whoa, what's this? It's like they ripped me off, and it's like, if they can do it. Like, but yeah, so they're the first Deathgasm 2, technically.
Oh, okay.
I think Deathgasm
Don't
is
Google
a
it.
fun for the whole family franchise, but maybe like a certain age and above. But I feel like this is a movie that even if someone writes it off because of the name, I would be like, give it a chance, because it's gonna crawl its way into your heart, and you're gonna love it just as much as so many people out there do. Given that, I'm gonna end with one really greedy question, because you're here celebrating the second film after all this work, but like, I can't help but wonder, you walked away from the first one thinking about Deathgasm 2. Have you walked away from Deathgasm 2 thinking about Deathgasm 3? Yeah, I like that.
Like it's. I mean, we were talking about it on set, even. Like, I don't really know where it would go after that. I think like, and a few of the other cast members have said this as well. Like a sort of a Medina focused third one would be cool. Like sort of Medina transitioning into the lead a bit more, which, I mean, like, these guys are buffoons as well. You're like the only one in like the group that actually has any sense. There's one point where you like, he's got these magical pages that like could raise the dead, and like you take them off and like, you're not like mature enough to like
Be in possession of
make
these.
2-minute noodles or something like that. It's like, yeah, so it sort of makes sense as well. And like, just seeing Kim like kick more ass as well would be fantastic.
Yes,
Watch
please.
out.
You already whooped my ass.
You make me happy. I ask the question. Again, manifestation space. We speak what we want into existence in this room, and I want that. I'm going to say huge congratulations on Deathgasm 2, and thanks for coming by and sharing some of your experience with us.
Oh, thank you so much, Perri.
Sincerely.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.